Imagine a world of turquoise water, lush rainforests, and vibrant villages called yucayeques. Long before the word America existed, the Caribbean was home to the Taíno. These weren't just islanders. They were master farmers, skilled navigators, and gifted artists who lived across what we now call Cuba, Jamaica, Puerto Rico, and Hispaniola. They lived by a simple philosophy: balance. They worshipped spirits called zemis, played a ceremonial ball game called bate, and slept in woven hammocks, a word we still use today. But in 1492, the horizon changed forever. 3 wooden ships appeared, and the world of the Taíno was about to collide with the ambitions of the Spanish Empire. The first encounter, from curiosity to conflict. When Christopher Columbus first stepped onto the sand, the Taíno, led by various caciques, chiefs, greeted the strangers with gifts and hospitality. The Spanish, however, weren't looking for friends, they were looking for gold. The honeymoon phase didn't last. The Spanish established a system called the encomienda. Under this law, Taíno people were consigned to Spanish settlers. In theory, the Spanish were supposed to protect them and teach them Christianity. In reality, it was brutal forced labor in gold mines and on massive plantations. The 3 pillars of decline. The tragedy of the Taíno wasn't caused by a single event, but by 3 devastating forces. Work and warfare. The transition from free farmers to forced laborers was lethal. Many died from exhaustion, while those who resisted were met with superior Spanish steel and cavalry. Famine. The Spanish brought cattle and pigs that trampled the Taínos' delicate conuco, farming plots, destroying their food supply and leading to widespread starvation. The invisible enemy. This was the biggest killer. The Taíno had no immunity to European diseases like smallpox, measles, and influenza. A single outbreak could wipe out an entire village in weeks. Resistance and resilience. Don't think for a second the Taíno went quietly. Leaders like Hatuey in Cuba and Agüebaná II in Puerto Rico led fierce rebellions. Hatuey is often called the first hero of the Americas for his guerrilla warfare tactics against the conquistadors. By the mid-1500s, the Spanish census showed the Taíno population had plummeted from hundreds of thousands to just a few thousand. For a long time, history books said they were extinct, but here's the plot twist: they never truly vanished. Through intermarriage and hidden communities in the mountains, known as cimarrones, Taíno DNA, language, and traditions survived. If you've ever eaten a barbecue, sat in a hammock, or felt a hurricane, you are speaking Taíno. Their blood still flows in millions of people across the Caribbean today. The cliffhanger. The Taíno suffered a heartbreaking fate, but what about the men who brought the cross and the sword? What happened to the Spanish Empire that grew so fat on Caribbean gold? Did they sail off into a golden sunset, or did their greed sow the seeds of their own destruction? That is a story for next time. Make sure you hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications, because the downfall of the Spanish Empire is a tale of pirates, silver, and a collapse you won't want to miss. Coming soon.